Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, like cool. The other day at work, like it was about 5 o'clock, and I was calling one of the other members of my team who sits downstairs. I sit upstairs. I called him, and when he answered said hello, I said, "Hi, how you doing? Sorry you couldn't get through." And he finished the song. He's like, "Leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you." Oh, that's the best.
Oh my god, what is that from?
It's Little Mix.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Of course it is. Hello, everybody.
I'll get back to you.
Welcome to Heroes of Handheld, the podcast dedicated to handheld gaming. We talk handheld gaming every week or most weeks, depending on whether we are here or not. We talk about Nintendo Switch, mobile, and everything in between, really. We sometimes talk about console gaming, but mostly it's all about the Switch and the Nintendos and the Sonys of your world. And we're back again for more fun and frolics. A bit earlier than usual. It's a Tuesday. It's throwing me off a little bit. Normally it's we're on hump day, but no, we're not. We're only on Tuesday. What would you say, Chris? Which day of the week is the most pointless day?
Like, is the most pointless?
Yeah.
It probably is Tuesdays actually.
Yeah, just that in between. Like you're not halfway through the week. You're not at the beginning of the week. Just nothing good happens on a Tuesday. And also, I feel like nothing good happens at 5 a.m. either. Like, what happens at 5 a.m.? Nothing happens at 5 a.m. It's just a bit of a point time.
Is this a reference or?
No, it's not. I'm being honest. Like 5 a.m. Okay. What's that about? I could have said I'm calling you at 3 a.m. and I'm standing here right outside your door. I don't think if you get that, if anyone out there gets that song,
I get that reference. Thank you.
No, I mean people listening. I know you'll get it. I know you're down with it. You're down. Right. Let's get into the meat and veg things. Can we talk about Farmville, please?
Oh, go on then. Very quick.
I mentioned this last week. I downloaded Farmville 2. I was a big fan of the original Farmville back on Facebook. #delete Facebook. And I've been playing Farmville 2. First time I picked it up, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very addictive. I've already expanded my farm. I've made apple tarts. I've made blackberry tarts. It's so much fun. I've harvested some carrots. I've got 2 cows. I've got some chicken. It's lovely. But I'm getting to the point now. You know, in these games where you don't have to spend any money, but then they sort of pressurize you a bit more as you get further in. To actually progress, you have to spend real money. I'm getting to the point now where I could only store up to 50 items in my barn. And I've got to the point now where everything I harvest, everything I make is adding to that total. So I need much more space than 50 items, Chris. And it's frustrating me. I know where it's going. They're going to be starting to offer me packages to extend my barn capacity by spending real money. I don't want to do that, Chris. All I want to do is make tarts all day and harvest the cows. Not harvest the cows. That sounds dark. Harvest my corn and then feed my cows. That's all I want to do. I don't want to spend money. I just want to have a great old time. You know, I just want a jolly, fun old time. And I am enjoying it. I'm on level 9. I'm almost on level 10. To unlock the boatyard, I need to get to a level 125. So that shows what the end game is on this. I'm going to be on it for a while.
So have you not given them? You've not given them any money?
No. I very rarely pay for any apps. I don't think I've not paid for an app in years. I cannot remember the last time I paid for an app. It's probably for some photo editing app years ago when I first got an iPhone. I paid for one. But yeah, I know you're completely different. Like you were telling me the other day, like you were playing Fortnite for free and you felt bad, and then you gave the developer some money just because you felt bad that you weren't giving them anything.
It's not necessarily because I feel bad. I just kind of feel like I like the idea. I like knowing that I financially supported things that I enjoy. Like I realize that not everyone's in a position to do that, which is totally fine. But for me, like I feel like I've played so much. I mean, we'll talk more about Fortnite properly in a second, but just kind of ethically, it's like they've given me so many hours of free entertainment. The least I can do is like send them some money. You know, by buying the in-game currency, and also that tells them, you know, that they're doing a good job. And kind of like with Pokemon Go as well. Like with Pokemon Go, I bought currency when the game was good, and I refused to buy currency when the game was bad.
Right? Was it? When did you think it was good, and when did you think it was bad? That's interesting.
When did I think it was good? When did I think it was bad? I thought it was. That's a good question. I thought there was decisions that they introduced that made me not want to play the game and give them money. Things like the EX raids and such. I'm trying to think what else used to frustrate me. Yeah, the boss system when it first came out was invite only, was quite frustrating. But I gave the money when like events were on and things like that because I thought that was good. I don't know. Yeah, it's just ethics, isn't it? It's just how people want to. And you know, some people will buy a free to play game, and the first thing they'll do is put £20 into it, and then that's them kind of feeling ethically absolved. But it just depends on how you want to approach it. But you never pay. You like, as long as I've known you, I think it's rare for you to put money into a free to play thing.
No, I'm a bit of a cheapskate. I'm not going to lie when it comes to gaming. I always try and spend the bare minimum and try and get the maximum output from that. I mean, talking to Pokemon Go, I've been playing that. It's almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's a long old time, isn't it?
I've not spent any real money on that. All the currency I've gained is through coins that I've got by putting my Pokemon into gyms.
I can't believe you've not spent any money on it. That's incredible. That is genuinely really incredible, because that game has been out a long old time, and there are some, like, for people who dropped off the Pokemon Go train, there are times when the currency comes in such handy, like buying incubators and things.
Yeah. That's probably why I'm so far behind everyone else who's been playing it for the same amount of time as me, because I'm just taking at my own pace and I don't want to spend any money. Talking to Pokemon Go very quickly, there was an event that ended a few days ago, actually, end of last week, where it was double XP for a week. I think it was in celebration of a new raid boss or something like that. But that was really cool. There's a week of double XP, which was nice. So yeah, shout out to Pokemon Go, which I'm still playing. But not as often as I would like, unfortunately. Right, Chris, I want to quickly talk about something fashion related. So me and you, we like the old collaborations with companies. Like Vans are the biggest ones for this. They had the collaboration with Mario, Luigi, and they had the Nintendo collaboration. And they also had the collaboration with Toy Story, Peanuts, Snoopy. I don't know, they probably had more collaboration.
I had a DC one a couple of years ago, because I got some quite. Oh no, that was Converse. There was a Converse DC one a couple of years ago. I got some quite good stuff from that.
And we've also spoken about those Sony shoes that were being released a couple of months ago.
Yeah, the Nike ones.
But we've got a new collaboration. Unfortunately, this is only for South Korea. There's no date for it coming out to the West, to the UK or Americas at the moment. But this is a Pokemon collaboration with. Now, I can't remember. I say I can't remember. I don't think I've ever known the right way to pronounce this company's name. Is it Fila or Fila or Fila? How do you pronounce it?
I'd say Fila probably.
Yeah,
it's those kind of chunky white shoes with Velcro straps, aren't they?
Yeah, the sort of shoes you would have bought when you're going to play PE when you're at school. They
were a little bit PE shoes, weren't they? That's fair.
Well, they have released images of a collaboration that they are going to be having with Pokemon, and I think these shoes look very, very nice. There's collaborations and designs based on Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Jigglypuff. So all Pokemons from the original release, which is nice. This is a limited collaboration. That's all we know at the moment. I mean, there's the images here, which we'll put the image. We'll put the image into the article. But they're quite tasteful. They're actually really nice, subtle designs. They are distinctly Pokemon design, but they're not over the top and in your face. So they all have a white design, but then what makes them different is on the back of the shoe. Would you call that the heel? Yeah, the top of the heel. Different color and different design depending on which Pokemon it's based on. So for Squirtle, there's a water emblem. For Charmander, there's a fire one. For Pikachu, it's just Pikachu's face, which looks a bit creepy. It looks like a bit of a chubby Pikachu there. And also the same for Bulbasaur and Jigglypuff as well. But the inside of the shoe is different color depending on the type of Pokemon it is. And it just looks very nice, very subtle, as I said. I also like the box they come in as well. The box they come in, it's red at the top, white at the bottom, and there's a Pokeball image on the front of it, which looks really, really cool. No details on pricing for this at the moment either. It's very limited on the information. This was only announced via social media through the Fila Korea account, but it looks very nice. Hopefully this sort of thing will come to the UK at some point, because I've got to get me those Charmander shoes. I do like those with the orange bit in them.
I'm quite surprised that they're coming to Korea rather than Japan as well. Like, you'd think if they're an Asian company or they want to collaborate with a Maybe there's already. I mean, I don't know what the Pokemon. There's probably already official Pokemon shoe merchandise in Japan, actually, isn't there?
Yeah,
Stupid.
It's probably
question
loads.
for me.
Or it could be like they're testing the water in this company.
Yeah.
Maybe they're seeing how well it does. I'm assuming that in Asia these would sell really, really well. But even over here in the West, it would do really well as well. But they look very nice. Definitely check those out. And yeah, all for the Charmander shoes. Love it. Now, we have got to talk about Fortnite, but shall we talk about the Switch news first and then come back to Fortnite, or do you want to do Fortnite first?
Yeah, let's make Fortnite the headline. So let's do the Switch news and kind of get it out of the way.
Yeah.
There is some news, but not a great deal, to be honest. It's been a fairly quiet week. Well, and also we're a day ahead of when we'd normally be as well. Earlier today, Nintendo did their Nindy's Switch showcase for spring 2018. Nindy stands for Nintendo Indies. They've done this before. The last one was maybe autumn last year, which was had Morphe's Law and stuff in. So this is basically Nintendo putting out like a 12-minute long video. You can watch it on YouTube. We'll embed it as well. And the Nintendo Switch subreddit, which is a really great subreddit if you're not subscribed, r/Nintendo Switch. The mods there have done like a kind of extensive breakdown of everything that's announced, which is really good because I wasn't able to watch it. Colin, I suspect you weren't either. It was on at work time. So here's the breakdown of the games that were announced for coming to Switch. And Colin, pip in when you want to.
Yes, I've had a read through, and there are a few that I'm liking the sound of.
So Mark of the Ninja Remastered from Clay Entertainment, originally released in 2012. This is a high definition remaster of the stealth action game. It comes out in the fall, and you play as a ninja using silence, agility, and wit to get around 2D levels. Banner Saga 3, made by Versus Evil. This is a conclusion to the Banner Saga trilogy. It's like a battling RPG type game. Lots going on in here.
Which never came to PlayStation Vita. There's a big thing about that, where originally Banner Saga 1 was coming to Vita. Then it got cancelled, and then someone from Sony caught wind of it and said they're going to bring it to Vita. Then it got cancelled for a second time. So it never did come out on Vita, which is a shame.
Yeah, 1 and 2 will come to Switch in the summer. Then you can carry on your story throughout the games. Yeah, I remember this being a big deal on Switch. It was kind of one of the last death nails in the coffin, wasn't it? Because for so long they were like, Banner Saga's coming, Banner Saga's coming.
And then it turns out it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't, because it was coming and it wasn't, and it was. But yeah, it's interesting that the third one's going to be the end. So it's obviously a full story, going to go full circle, which is interesting. But it's a lovely looking game, so that will look very nice on the Nintendo Switch, I'm sure.
And you would suspect as well that there is a portion of players who had a Vita, wanted to play this, never got to play it, and now will finally get to play all three of them on the Switch. It's quite nice, really, that like there is a handheld option there for players.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to play the first one on Vita, then have to go for the other two on a different platform. So
yeah, exactly.
One place.
Lumines Remastered from Enhanced Games. Lumines is like a puzzle sound music game that I remember playing on mobile, actually. It's that kind of blocky orange and white thing. I don't know if you've ever played it, Colin. If you Google image Lumines, you might recognize it. It was a weird game, but I know people are excited for this. It comes out to Nintendo Switch in spring. It's a HD remaster. Just Shapes and Beats, made by Berserk Studio, a musical bullet hell game with local and online co-op multiplayer and a soundtrack composed by 20 chiptune artists. It comes out as a timed console exclusive on Switch this summer. I'm well keen for that. That sounds really good.
Looks nice. Looks
this
good.
Next game I'm really excited for, because I played it a lot on mobile. This is Reigns, Kings and Queens from Nereal and Devolver Digital. So if you've not played Reigns before, it's kind of like Tinder, the Dungeon Keeper game. So basically you play as the king or the queen, and you have the phone in portrait mode, and then different options for the story come up, and you either swipe left to action them, like to ignore them, or swipe right to action them. And the whole time you're trying to balance these 4 different scales of church, people, health, and wealth, or something like that. And if ever the scales get too low, then the king or the queen is overthrown and a new ruler comes in. So for example, you'll make a decision and it'll be like, oh, the church want to start taxing people for weddings, and if you agree with that decision, then it means that the church will be happier, but the people will be sadder, but the money will go up. And it's like kind of RPG, kind of balance game, but the way you play is really fun and straightforward, and it's not as dry as it sounds as well. Quite quickly, it gets quite fantastical and there's kind of magical beings, and you end up going to hell and all sorts happens. And you can pick up where the last king or queen died when you get taken over. So this will come this spring with an exclusive local co-op multiplayer mode. I don't quite know how that's going to work, but I look forward to trying it. The Messenger from Sabotage and Devolver Digital, 8-bit platformer, and it then transforms into a 16-bit time-traveling adventure. It comes out in the summer. Fantasy Strike from Serling Games, a fantasy and martial arts game. Comes out in the summer, and local multiplayer mode will be there, but you have to buy special additional accessories. Pool Panic from Adult Swim Games. I don't know this. It's a giant pool game, apparently. So, Colin, you love pool.
Yeah. I was having a look at this one. This one sounds really interesting.
It's made by Adult Swim, so I don't know if there's going to be anything kind of weird about it, because Adult Swim is like Robot Chicken and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Pool Party Panic. Is it the actual pool game, or is it as in a swimming pool?
No, pool is in like snooker pool.
I'm searching Pool Panic, and it's come up with some weird cartoons in the swimming pool. It's a cartoon or something weird.
Loads more announcements, so we're going to race through these. Garage from Tiny Build Games, which is inspired by VHS era B movies. It's a top-down shooter. Switch this spring. Lightfall from Bishop Games, which is a platformer, and it comes out as a timed console exclusive this spring. You can race against your friends and fast play in the world using online leaderboards and physics of like a magical box that kind of messes around with gravity and stuff. Bomb Chicken from Nitrome, a platformer that features a bomb chicken, a chicken that places bombs. Comes out in summer. Pode from Henchman and Goon. Two unlikely travel companions embark on an adventure in this co-op puzzle game. Pode is inspired by Norwegian art and culture. Launches this spring. West of Loathing from Asymmetric, a slapstick comedy stick figure Wild West role-playing game. Comes out as a timed exclusive this spring. And finally, Bad North from Plausible Concept and Raw Fury, which is a Viking-themed strategy real-time game, which comes out on Switch this summer. So some big announcements from, a mix of studios there. It looks like, with all these indies things, there'll be some that really stick and some that don't. But it's good that Nintendo are really doubling down on this idea that Switch is the place for indies to go. And actually, our next news story is very much dedicated to that. Colin, I'm going to take a sip of water. Would you mind covering this one?
I want to talk about a story that's not the one that you're going to talk about, because I'm more excited. I'm sorry. I love Sonic. Sonic Mania Plus physical game released announced. So Sega are going to be releasing a physical version of Sonic Mania later this year. It's going to be it's being dubbed as Sonic Mania Plus. And it's going to be a sort of a micro update to the original Sonic Mania. What that means is it'll be the same game with the added bonus of 2 new playable characters. And Chris, are you sitting comfortably for this? Are you ready for this? Not only are you going to have Sonic the Hedgehog in the game, and Tails, and all those, all the characters you love, Knuckles, whatever. With Sonic Mania Plus, we're going to be getting access to, and as playable characters, Mighty the Armadillo.
Wow!
There you go. And Ray, the Flying Squirrel.
Wow!
I've never heard of these characters before, but apparently they're from the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog arcade. Sega Sonic the Hedgehog arcade. Apparently they're from that or something. But also, as well as these awesome characters, there will also be a new encore mode and a 4-player competition mode, which would be, that sounds really cool actually. Holographic slip cover and a 32-page art book and reversible Mega Drive slip cover also includes. That's cool. And it's going to be $30, $29.99, coming out this summer. I assume that means it'll be about 25 quid, maybe 20 quid, something like that in the UK.
Depends what the euros and the
the dollars and your
counter of the exchequer and Ipsos 100 or whatever it's called.
Oh, was it the Dewey Jones or something, isn't it?
Dowie Jones, yeah, that's it.
That's it. So yeah, that's exciting. I still need to pick up Sonic Mania. That'd be the best platform to play it on would obviously be my Nintendo Switch. Got no excuse now, so I'm gonna look into that. But that's really cool. I'm really excited to play as Ray the Flying Squirrel, who I assume is the distant cousin of Sonic, not Sonic, of Tails. Because do we know what Tails is? What animal is Tails?
Is Tails not an? Oh no, Knuckles is the echidna, isn't he? I think Tails is a squirrel.
What animal is Tails? Let's see what Google has to say about this. The name is Miles, apparently. It's a fox. Yeah.
Oh,
that seems
okay.
obvious, doesn't it? He is a 8-year-old fox with 2 tails, hence the nickname. Thank you, Wikipedia. You've helped us greatly there. Right. So, what was the other bit of news we were talking about? Because I got excited.
Well, FDG Entertainment, who are a producer and publisher of digital games, including Blossom Tales and Oceanhorn, have put up a tweet saying, I'm going to just quote this. Nintendo Switch community is a blessing. Blossom Tales is now a turnaround story. Humble indie dev Castle Pixel can stay in business and can continue making games. Love you all. 3 months of Switch revenues surpasses Steam's lifetime revenues 20 times.
Wow. That's
huge. Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? And I mean, like, releasing their game on Switch was the difference between going out of business and staying in business. That is huge. And, you know, fair play to them. I mean, that game, like, I haven't played a ton of it, but it's a good title. Like, it's a good top-down title, and you can tell the folks who made it really love, you know, the roots and the origins and Zelda and top-down puzzle games.
Definitely a sort of game that fits the Nintendo Switch roster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, congratulations to them. And the fact it's outsold, you know, the Steam revenue not just by so much, but in such little time as well, is really cool.
Yes, well, cool. That's good. It's always good to hear of good success stories in the gaming industry these days.
The last bit of news on the old Nintendo Switch is that Nintendo UK are having their Step into Spring sale in Europe, and there is basically some reductions on games. And obviously, after the announcement of the point system, you might start to consider buying some of these games as downloads rather than as physical copies. So this is coming from NintendoLife.com, but I'm sure it'll be on the actual eStore as well. Doom, The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, and ARMS can be yours for €40 each. LA Noire is now €30, 49. Rocket League is down to €14.99, and FIFA 18 has been slashed to €29.99 as well. Nintendo UK have tweeted it, so you would assume that there's going to be some, pound price drops as well. A bunch of the Monster Hunter games are cheaper as well on 3DS, and Ocarina of Time 3D is now down to €11.99. You can see more on the eShop, and the actual sale starts on 22nd of March and runs through to the 5th of April, so plenty of time to have a browse of these deals.
I'm excited about this. I do need a new Switch game to play.
Oh, how are you going with Zelda?
I haven't touched it for like 2 months.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think it's time to send it back to you.
It sounds like it. I'm in a bit of a rut with Switch. I mean, I played the Kirby demo last week. We talked about it. Yeah. But I'm feeling a little bit like, because I've been playing so much Fortnite and so much Monster Hunter, my Switch has been a little bit dusty. I won't lie. But that's the thing, isn't it? Something will come around and then you flip back to it.
I think, I just need that game to bring me back in. I mean, the game that would bring me back is Skyrim. I still haven't picked that up yet. Do you want
to borrow my copy of Skyrim?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about this on fair.
Yes, I want to play Skyrim so much. I will be back on my Switch with Skyrim. Finally, after 6 years, I can finally give it a go. I still never played it.
You don't delete my saves.
Aren't they saved to your memory card?
They're saved to the. Oh no, they might save to the card. Actually, I think you're right.
Numpty. Right, okay. Is that it? Should we move on to
let's do big news.
So it's weird to think that this time last week, I don't think I'd actually ever played Fortnite before. I think the first time I played it, was on Thursday of last week, because you informed me. I didn't realize that it was actually free to play. It shows my limited knowledge of Fortnite and the whole world of battle royales. But I went and downloaded it from the Xbox store. It took quite a while to download, annoyingly, but I finally played it, gave it a go. I enjoyed it for the first bit, and then got really frustrated because all that planning, all that hiding, all that scavenging comes down to one bit of bullshit where someone climbs over a wall and shoots you in the head. It's very annoying. You just think, so I've got to go all the way back in. I've got to jump out the plane again. I could jump out the bus. Just annoying. So yeah, Fortnite, the battle royale. I can see why people enjoy it. I still haven't got my head around the whole building element of it. I haven't really figured out how that works yet. But I have enjoyed it. But the reason we're bringing it up is because both me and Chris have played Fortnite on iOS, which is exciting. We both signed up for early access, and we both got accepted into this. I tried to invite you a few times, but it didn't work for some reason. I think the reason why it wasn't working, the friend invites I had weren't working properly. And then the day you got a code, they emailed me to say they were fixed. So yeah. How are we finding it then? How are we finding Fortnite on iOS?
I've played. I would say I probably played slightly more Fortnite than you. I think that's fair on console. I'm pleasantly surprised with the mobile version and how well it runs. I would say that it's not perfect, and I think the control mechanisms aren't perfect, but the actual, and it uses up quite a lot of space and it's quite battery intensive. But the actual gameplay is surprisingly smooth. Like, it runs so much better than I thought it would. Yeah. And it's like, if they can add in like controller support or something like that, it will feel like the same experience on the go. The main difference, so Fortnite is like a third person perspective shooter game, and on console that's fine, but on the phone, you move with a virtual joystick, and then you aim by like dragging the screen, and then you shoot by tapping the screen. So it can get quite tricky when you're trying to shoot someone because you're trying to move the screen around whilst tapping to fire at them. I find that quite difficult.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that when the matchmaking's working properly and you're in a game of just mobile players, it feels really fun because you're all hit by the same setbacks. And the fact that your account, that you can log in and all your stuff continues and all your challenge progress continues, and the fact you have the same profile on there when there are other, there are other games that would not be that forward thinking on a game that's only just come out. I think that's incredible. Like, I think that's really incredible, and not something to be sniffed at. And like, when you're playing on the console version and you go up against a mobile player, I mean, it's kind of, you immediately know, because the style of movement is so different, because it's so like jerky. But when you're all playing like that, it feels really good. And it's like, surprised, I was really surprised. And I've got an iPhone 6S, which is the lowest type of phone you can have if you want to play this game. And I was surprised at how well it ran, because it really is like genuinely very smooth to play.
I completely agree with what you said there, almost entirely. I was actually shocked pretty much when I downloaded it for the first time. I thought it was going to be really laggy. I thought there'd be frame rate issues. I thought it would be difficult to even play. But how smooth it is was actually incredible when you think about it. That game on such a small screen and such a small system.
It's mad. This is the same, transition. And it's the same size. Like, it's the same map. That's what's crazy.
I know.
It's like, this is a game which is, runs on PlayStation, on Xbox, on PC, and is not, it's not demanding, but it's by no means like simple.
And it's not a condensed version either. It's
it's incredible
exact detail that you get in the console game. So that is such a fantastic achievement. And considering this is only early access, I think it, as you said, already works really well. I do agree. The controls and the movement is something I think probably needs to be looked at. I don't like how the shooting, the button to shoot is above the button to move. So really, when I was first playing it, you end up just standing still whilst you're shooting, which isn't ideal when you've got people playing on consoles and on PC where they can move about, jump, and whilst they're shooting you. So you have to be really careful. I think it sort of makes you be a bit more defensive and a bit more like not so likely to go out all guns blazing, just go straight into the middle of a battle. Because no, there are some people in Fortnite, from what I found, as soon as you get the queue to get off the bus, like people just like skydive straight down, and there's like a battle straight away, and then like half the 100 people are dead already. I'm not like that at all. I try and find the most secluded place in the map and just like catch my thoughts, find some guns, like knuckle down, and then very warily creep out to see what's going on in the world.
I've had a few victory royales, or VRs as they're called, in squads, never by myself but with other people, and every time we've won, it's been because at the start we've landed somewhere really distant, because like the amount of people that get picked off at the start is incredible. Like it drops from 100 to, I would say it takes as much time to drop from 100 to 80 as it does to drop from 100 to 20 as it does to drop from 20 to 1.
Yeah.
Because that first like 5 minutes is just so savage.
I think a lot of gamers these days aren't very patient. They want to get straight into the action. And like,
and people always love. There's a zone in the middle of the map called Tilted Towers, which has become a bit of a meme because like everyone just loves. It's like if you want a really quick, intense game, you land in Tilted, you play for about 3 minutes, you shoot some people, you get shot, or then you respawn, and it's so much more intense than if you land on the outskirts and work your way in.
Yeah.
Something interesting to say as well is that PUBG, which is obviously the big competitor to Fortnite, has actually just brought out their version of the game, published by Tencent on mobile in America and Canada as well. So literally yesterday, this news broke, and it's like it's kind of interesting because Fortnite, PUBG was there before Fortnite, but I think people are becoming more attached to Fortnite now because it's like a bit sillier and a bit more camp and a bit less like bros military.
Yeah, the other one, PUBG. How you pronounce it?
PUBG.
PUBG. That one's a bit more serious, isn't it? Like it's real soldiers, like Call of Duty style or Battlefield. But with Fortnite, it's more colourful, it's more light-hearted, it's a bit ridiculous because you start off with a weird like hoe which you hit people with, and then you can build stuff as well. I don't know. I think it's because it's pretty much the exact same game, isn't it? Like almost exactly the same. It's almost like the big difference is the art style and the whole like general feel around it. You know, it's a lot more light-hearted feeling than PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I don't know whether that has drawn people in more and made it more appealing for a wider audience. Like maybe people don't want the normal gritty, war-strong world similar to Battlefield and Call of Duty, and people just want something a bit fun. People just want to be able to use a cool glider to glide down into the world rather than just parachute down.
Yeah, and I quite like the fact that it's like, because PUBG is so, people are making kills with like I mean, I've not played, but I've watched streams and stuff, and people are, it's like you take like 2 shots, then you die, and you have to people using scopes from like thousands of miles away. Whereas this, it's like you see someone, the first thing you do is build a massive fucking tower, and then the second thing you do is like throw a disco ball in there, then trying to hit them with rockets. It's so much like it's such a similar. The concept is so is the same, but the way it's played out and the style is so much more. I think it's just more fun. Like I feel like with Fortnite, partly it's because it's free as well, but like with Fortnite, I feel like I can just sit there in half an hour and I can lose a bunch of times and it still just feels fun because it's just so silly. And then you get like, you have all the like emotes and you have all the stupid costumes, and it's just, there's something about that game, man. It's so addictive. And the stuff last week about, did you see Drake playing it with a streamer called Ninja?
Oh, God.
So Drake broke a bunch of Twitch records because Ninja, who's this really popular Fortnite streamer, Drake had followed him on Instagram a little while ago, then messaged or something to say, can we play Fortnite, because he's quite into it. And then he went live on Twitch and it just broke records and people were obsessed. Then other like sort of celebs came in, and it was just this huge moment of like, I think that was the real kind of sparking moment for this game, is it's like it's breached into popular culture. And now it's on mobile as well. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what can stop it. It's like once they properly launch as well, that game is going to be so popular.
Break the internet. It's going to be more popular than Pokemon Go, probably. Like the way it's going, honestly, the popularity is just ridiculous. And I had seen so many things online about it, but never really bothered to properly look into what Fortnite was all about. But it's very addictive. And as you say, like when you die, like I think when you start a game of Fortnite, when you're solo, the odds are so stacked against you anyway that you don't feel like too disappointed when you die. Like you just think, oh, that was a shame. Let's go back in and try again. It's not like, oh, I've got to win. Obviously, you want to, but it's, you sort of. I always go into. I might just be me, but I just go into a game and I automatically think, right, it's gonna be really hard to win. But let's try and do as best I can. And with that attitude, you just want to keep going back in and playing again until eventually you get to the final. Have you ever won a game of Fortnite in solo? Have you ever been the last player alive?
No, never solo. I've got to top. What's the highest I got in solo? I think I got to number 4 or 5, but the only time I've ever won is in squads and then a couple of times when I won maybe once or twice when it was squads of 20, and then I've won maybe 2 or 3 times in squads of 4. But I can't. The thing is, I'm good at the shooting stuff, but I'm not very good at quickly building, and that's the problem. Is that when that's the other thing that I really like about this game. Sorry to keep going on about Fortnite, but like when you die, if you die to someone who gets a good kill on you, like because it instantly cuts to watching them, like I just like to watch them and just watch how these people are playing the game because it's really interesting. And you like if you go out and then you watch and you think, oh yeah, I never would have been able to keep up with these guys because they're just so good. It's just there's something about that game. It's so addictive, and it's like. Now it's got its claws in me. It's all I think about. And I was like, I got home today and I was like, do I have time for it? Like I was jonesing for it. I was like, do I have time for a quick little session before I speak to my boy Colin?
But that's the thing, because it's on mobile now, you can just take it wherever you go. It's just amazing.
Exactly.
We should play tonight.
I'm going to play some more after this.
Yeah, let's play tonight. Bit of HQ trivia, then we'll play. Yeah?
Yeah. What do you think of the other presenter on HQ Trivia, by the way, of Carl?
He's quite a character, isn't he? What I've noticed he's a bit eccentric.
Yeah, he's odd.
He's fun. He seems to be having a good time. He's having a lot of fun. But I feel he's not as good at explaining the rules as our girl Sharon is, to be honest with you. Sharon, I know it's obviously very brief at the beginning, the rules, but she very quickly goes through the rules and explains, you have to get 12 questions right. But he doesn't do that. I don't know whether it's the script he's following or what, but he'll just go straight in. He'll be like, hello, welcome, let's play. Here's question 1. And then you're straight in before you've got time to get yourself ready. But I like it. It's good to have a bit of change every now and then. Make it a bit fresher. But it's funny looking at the comments every time he's on. Like all the comments just saying, who is this Joker? Where's Sharon? Where's our girl? And it's funny. The comments on HQ.
It's funny because I remember the first couple of UK games, and when Sharon was hosting, people really wanted Scott, who's the US host. It was like, where's Scott? Where's Scott? Go away, Sharon. But now it's like, even though she, sometimes Sharon will like mispronounce something or phrase a phrase quite oddly. People just love it. They love talking about her, don't they?
The best one was when it was Eric Cantona and she pronounced it like Cantona or something, and she got ripped to shreds in the comments. And then I remember the next few days afterwards, people kept like putting it in the comments, like say Cantona. It was funny. Bless her. I've just accepted you as a friend on Fortnite. By the way.
Other one that we've had. Oh, nice. The other one we've had a lot is there was a question that's like, what's the most popular language, Chinese, English, or Spanish? And now the meme is Chinese isn't a language.
Nice. Oh, I'm just choosing my emote on Fortnite. I've not chosen one yet.
Okay, we'll play after. Let's round off the podcast, Colin. Give us.
Let's do this week's group chat. So last week we wanted you to let us know who is your dream Smash Bros character, because obviously we had the announcement that Smash Bros is coming to Nintendo Switch this year. We're very excited about this. So we had a lovely response on Twitter. I believe this is from Phil H, who said he would like some more Sonic characters to join in. Knuckles would be a good one. But how about Ray the Flying Squirrel? Let's throw him into the mix. And the Armadillo as well. Let's bring them all in. Dr. Robotnik. Well, I think Dr. Robotnik would be quite cool, actually, because he'd ride that little pod thing. In the first Sonic game and probably all the other Sonic games, he's always in that like grey bubble floating thing, isn't he? And he always has like things hanging off it. Like he has that wrecking ball on it. He like spits fire out of it. He drops like chemicals. Like if he's in that floating around, that'd be quite fun. Or that could be one of his moves, maybe, to float around and then drop bombs on people. I'd be up for that. And obviously, he's really quick at running, isn't he? Because if you remember, Sonic 1, I think it's Sonic 1, where you defeat him, he then runs away, and he's going so quick that even Sonic can't catch up to him. So he's really quick. He'd be a good one.
I feel like Dr. Eggman is the more likely Sonic character. Yeah, I'd quite like that. I mean, where there is a Sonic stage and stuff, and yeah, Sonic feels like such a grounded part of that franchise as well. I think it's interesting talking about Sonic because like there are other big there are two for me other big gaming mascots that I'm surprised aren't in Smash Bros. That I think will be this time around, and they're for me, Colin.
Yeah.
Number one. Where the fuck is my boy Rayman at? Rayman should 100% be in this game. And I feel like with the success of the Rabbids thing on Switch, it's got to be Rayman. And number two, my boy Bomberman. I'm all about the mans. I'm all about the Rays and the Bombermans. And one of them's got to be in this time around because they are the next gen of classic characters. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of big titles. And I mean, I know you're going to say Crash because you wank yourself off over Crash Bandicoot, but
yes,
for me, like Rayman and Bombman are just another level.
What about Glowbox?
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be good.
I don't know. I don't get the hate for Glowbox. I quite like him.
I liked him.
Or Murph, the flying frog thing.
Oh, Murph. He was in Rayman 3, wasn't he? He was like the narrator guy. I thought he was great. We started off in Rayman 3. Now he's in all the Ubisoft art ones they do. I think for Smash Bros, we need more vehicles. You need to get the cars from Rocket League in there. That's what I say. Pure and simple. Get them in. Wouldn't that be so good? Because like you can go really fast, you can do flips and push a giant ball around. It's a dream. It's the dream. That's what you want. Like you can call in a big ball. I don't play much Smash Bros, Chris, but are there special moves that you can do with each character, which makes like a really powerful amount of damage? Does each character have their own move?
The signals are very good, Colin, but yeah, they have different moves. So like all of them have basic punches and kicks, but then they also have like specials which are more themed towards their characters.
So if you had the Rocket League car, you'd just be able to drop a massive ball on everyone, and then it'd be fun for everyone. So yeah, Rocket League cars, get them in, I say. Get them in. Should we decide what next week's group chat will be, Chris?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Let's look at the list we've got here. What should we do? No. You decided. Oh, it was you decided last week, wasn't it? Oh, there's so many good ones here, but which one shall we go for? Have we done a sports game one yet? I'm going to make the decision. We're going to do a sports game one. It's a pure and simple. What is your favorite ever sports game on any gaming device you've ever owned? So consoles, preferably handheld, but if it's on say a console like PlayStation or Xbox, and that's fine as well. We'll accept it. We just want to know what your favorite ever sports game is, and we want to know why that is. It can't just be because I like football. We want to know why. What made this sports game so special for you? Any kind of sport. It doesn't matter whether it's like a made-up sport, like there was a version of tennis in Rayman 3 where you were like a bomberman and you're throwing bombs at each other. Any sort of sporty game that you enjoyed, let us know what your favorite one was. Tell us why. And that's our group chat for this week.
Keen. Yeah, I'm keen. Good pick. Sorry.
Good.
I'm just lost in the moment thinking about my favorite sports games.
I thought you were going to say sports bra then for some reason.
Well, my favorite sports bra is the pink one that I've got, but it's a bit uncomfortable.
You know, you're doing a bit of running at the moment. You're into your running.
Yeah.
Do you get a bit of chafe?
Not on my legs, on my nipples a little bit. It depends on the top that I'm wearing, though.
Do you cover your nipples in Vaseline?
I have done. I don't do it every time. Like I said, it depends on the t-shirt and depends on the cold as well. Because if it's cold enough that they're, it's difficult.
Do they ever bleed?
Yeah, once. It was horrendous.
Dirty.
So sore.
Oh,
Yeah, it's grim.
rough. Anyway, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Heroes of Handheld. We'll be back same time, maybe not same time, but we'll be back next week with another episode full of fun and frolics talking about everything handheld gaming. If you want to find us online, you can search Heroes of Handheld and find us on Facebook, on iTunes, on Google+, or you can search Handheld Podcast and you can find us on Twitter. We tweet throughout the week all our favorite stories and little reminders as to what we've spoken about on the previous week's podcast. What else can people do? You can email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. You can go to our website, heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com, and go to the contact us section if you want to send us a message. And yeah, that's how you get in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget, this week's group chat, we want your messages. We want your answers. What is your favorite sports game ever? And we will collaborate next week and go through our favorite answers. Chris, it's over to you.
I can't hear you very well, but I'll speak to you soon and I love you. Bye.
Bye.